What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Scratch Agency Podcast, hosted by Scratch Agents for Scratch Agents. This episode is brought to you by Virtual Intelligence, your premier partner for client-facing and back-office virtual employees. My name is Stephen Turnbull, founder of T5 Insurance Services in Clinton, New York, and I'm joined by my co-host today, the one and only, the handsome, you already know, hold your applause, Mr. Shawn Fitzgerald, founder of Sound Harbor Insurance in Long Island, New York. I'm not going to ask you, Mr. Fitzgerald, how you're doing. We were just joking that we got, we should have recorded the first 45 minutes of us trying to record this. We've been on our recording software for about 45 minutes. We both got some personal stuff going on that is for a different time, but we were dealing with that. Then I had a quote call come in. Then I had a claim come in. Hey, give me a second, mute the microphone here. So we've been sitting on this call for close to an hour at this point. But now we're just finally recording it. And we pulled the drape and got rid of all that other stuff, and we're here to make it happen. Quick solo episode today around, I don't know if anybody's heard this thing called AI. It's this little buzzword that's going around. We thought it'd be good just to talk to the listeners and, hey, how are we using it in T5? How are we using it in Sound Harbor? As always, we are no experts. This is no AI advice, past just opinions of how we're utilizing it, how we're going through the foggy mirrors of the shiny object syndrome when it comes to this tech tool. And I feel like there's a new InsurTech that has AI at the end of it every single day that we're learning about, but just our experiences in using it and the points that we're at in our Scratch agency journey. So, Mr. Fitzgerald, I know you want to touch on a few things. I wanted to touch on a few things, but let me just start by asking you, what has your approach been with AI in your agency? I think, like I said, there's every single day, it's like, did you hear this tool? Did you know ChatGPT can now zap you to this and do this and that? And it's a lot. And I think the important thing for us is to be like, all right, so let's slow down a little bit and go back to not just an AI in general, but any tool in general of is this solving a problem in our agency, or is it just a shiny object that we want to use? What's your approach?
Correct. Yeah, and I think we've said this before, but the biggest killer of goals is distractions, and you definitely don't want this to be a big distraction. So what I did in this specific scenario is I went to good old YouTube University and discussed with a mentor that has more experience in this space than I do. And I said, hey, where do you think I should start with this? It's a little overwhelming. I'm not sure where to start. What should I do? And his first piece of advice was to start with a chatbot. And my other mentors basically said the same thing: chatbot, AI receptionist. So those are the two things I started with. And the mistake you guys can learn from me is that I started going down the wormhole of demos with different companies, but not looking at the software I already had in place that supported the technology. And the reason why I think that's so important is because the last thing I think you want to do for your team or for yourself is add another piece of software that's through a different company, that's a different window you need to open. Chances are some software you're using now probably already supports a chatbot or an AI receptionist. So for me, for instance, I started looking at different companies, and honestly, the other companies are phenomenal. Technology is great. It does more than an AI receptionist. Some of them, do COIs and stuff like that. There's some really cool tech out there. But honestly, some AI receptionists even sound better than the one I chose. I chose to go with RingCentral specifically because I use RingCentral for my agency. We use it for team messaging, internal communication. We use it for text messages, for phone calls, for video meetings sometimes. So I was like, you know what, I should look into this RingCentral AI receptionist. So I toyed with the product, tested it out. Right now, we are actually using it for inbound calling during open hours. I am using it. I think I can definitely be using it more. Meaning, I think I can, have when somebody calls in, have it do more tasks. But my thought process behind it was because the technology is still so new within the RingCentral atmosphere, so to speak, is give it a simple prompt. Make it as simple as possible for the client so they don't get upset or
walk before you run
what
with
the
it.
heck is going on. Yeah. So basically, when you call into our agency, it's basically just going to give you three options. Is this a service related call? Is this a sales related call? Or is this related to claims? And then from there, I built out the workflow of what the receptionists should do in the event the person says service or sales or claims. And I basically built the flow chart off of those three things. And for me, and I built the chatbot the same way.
Right.
That's on our website now. So that's worked best for us. We've had it only running, full transparency. I've had it running for 2 full days now. First
Yeah.
day, we got about 15 calls. One person, which was a contractor, called my personal line, and he's like, Shawn, I don't know how to speak to robots. You got to help me. Like he was like different, like just not used to the change, let's say. And I just basically told him, hey, this is our process moving forward. If you call in, just say you need to speak with Shawn, and it'll connect it. And he's like, oh, really? And I said, yeah, just next time, just say I need to speak with the owner, Shawn or Shawn Fitzgerald, and it'll transfer it right to me. And he's like, oh, okay, thanks. And I like that was the only one from day one. And then day two, we had, I think it was only like 9 or 10 calls and not one complaint about it. As a matter of fact, it transferred I think in total between the 2 days, it transferred 8 or 9 calls and seamless. It transferred, and I looked at like the time, how long the person was on the phone with the receptionist before being transferred, and not one person was on the phone for more than 45 seconds.
So I'm going to stop you
Yeah.
because I know you get overexcited about this. But let's break down 2 things I want you to, or that you said I want to break down. One is
Yeah.
do current tech tools that you use in your agency already offer this? Chances are they do.
For sure.
Okay, so we've talked with, I don't think we haven't directly talked with, like Gal was a big thing when it came out, right? We
Yeah.
talked about them a lot. We had people on that use them. Caro's a new one that we talked with Lisa about last week or the week before. A lot of these tools, and again, these are just conversations and opinions that we're having. But now you bring up RingCentral, and I think it'd be cool to just share this about you were saying, hey, I am using RingCentral inside of their system for the AI answering service. And I remember when you called me and told me that, I'm like, they offer that? I have
Yeah.
RingCentral. They offer that, and so look into that before you're making a move to bring on another tech tool, train your team, all that. I think that's a huge point that you brought up. And the other thing is out of my mind. That I say.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
These. No, go ahead. It's
Let me
gone.
add something to this real quick too. Just full transparency is we're all scratch agents. We're all on a budget. Financially, you call around, see what makes the most sense for you, because I've seen the pricing is completely different for every company. So for instance, RingCentral, I can add this AI receptionist, and I think everyone would be shocked that it was only an additional $30 a month to add it. Now, I will say the other services that are more expensive on a monthly basis, those AI receptionists are built out and programmed specifically for insurance, agencies. RingCentral, they have customers in all different types of businesses, so it's not tailored specific to insurance. So you have to do a little more building on the back end as far as feeding it its knowledge base and all of that stuff. So there's a little more work on the back end for sure.
So I remember what I was going to say. I love the story that you shared about the client saying, "Oh, joking with you, Shawn, I can't talk to robots and this and that." But we, in our mastermind group, we talk a lot about this, the difference of having an AI receptionist answer your call and say, hey, my name is so-and-so. I'm an AI receptionist that helps T5, that helps Sound Harbor field calls. How can I help you? Versus, hello, can I help you today? And people are like, is this a robot? And one thing I love,
Yes.
Elise, bringing her up again, since she was on the show a couple weeks ago, she joined our community and she's working with this Kara tool now, and she was sharing a lot of the calls. And one thing that I loved about something she shared was when she either called somebody back because she missed the call and the AI receptionist took the information, she said, hey, what did you think of that? And getting the feedback. And I think that's so cool, because it's like bringing clients inside of our journey of like, hey, we added this. What was your feedback? And you're like to this
Yes.
guy, hey, just say that I have to talk to Shawn. Really? It'll bring me that. Oh, that's cool. Like, he's not like, well, I'm moving because I can't directly talk to you. Well, like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. Awesome. Or setting that up in advance of like, hey, this is an AI receptionist that can help field the calls for T5. How can we help you? I love that point. The other thing that I want to talk about, to your point, Shawn, is you just compared using RingCentral versus the other tools that are more advanced because they're more insurance literate inside of their AI bots. What do you need to work inside of your agency? For me, we don't get a
Yeah.
lot of inbound calls. It's a lot of texting and email. And
Yeah,
so if
same.
it's an inbound call, it's a new sale or whatever, and Jasmine's here now that fields that call, all of that things work for the agency, but we don't get a ton of inbound calls. Mike Cruz, on the other hand, gets 1 to 200 calls a day inside of his agency. He needs that AI receptionist to know where to direct those calls, right? So you're looking at it for a standpoint, and I know you get more calls than we do, and I just wanted to put both of our agencies in the hot seat here to share this. Like, I'm looking at getting the AI receptionist set up for only after hours. Perfect example, our phone turns off at 4:30. Yesterday, we got a call from someone at 4:55 or something like that that was looking for a homeowner's quote that was sent over. He left a voicemail. We called him back this morning and took care of it. But if I had an AI receptionist set up, because we don't have it set up yet, we're working on it. If I had one set up that could field that, what type of insurance are you looking for? All that. Now I can come in the morning and see Mark called. He's looking for a new home quote. He was sent over from Ashley, and this is all the here's all the information
Yep,
after hours that will help field a lot of that claims call, whatever it is. So
totally.
even just the two of us, we're looking to utilize it in two completely different ways. So before you look at, well, this tool is great and it's doing all these great things, and this person's saying it's amazing, what inside of your agency do you need it to solve a problem? And for us, it's going to simply, for $30 a month, whatever you said it is, for T5, it's going to solve the problem of, hey, we can talk to you 24/7 now,
Yep,
and we can field your answers. And we haven't even gotten to the chatbot stuff that you and I have been working on, but I think that's super powerful to stop and just think, like, what's the need here. And the
100%.
beauty with the AI and all these tools is you can customize it to whatever your need is.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. Now, I'm trying to get mine set up for the closed hour portion as well. So yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I think that's going to be a game changer because, like you said, you'll get more of a detailed, you'll know what you're walking into, you know?
Right. Right.
So yeah, I mean, and then outside the receptionist, I know you're working on this too. We're working on it together. Shout out to Billy Williams, who kind of helped me with the process of the chatbot specifically. So we did decide to go through Zapier on that. And they have, you'll see it's in beta, but you should be able to get access to it if you want to go that route. Again, I went with Zapier because I'm already using Zapier. We use it for some automations within Agency Zoom. And Zapier makes the process really simple, right? You have an instruction section, you have a knowledge base section, you drag and drop it, and you can select the LLM behind the scenes as far as what ChatGPT or what you want it to use to interpret the data. So it's been a super intuitive program for sure. I put it live on my website I think yesterday, and again, I used it in a similar way as my receptionist, except I'm tailoring this chatbot specifically more geared towards new business leads, not specifically customer support. Whereas my AI receptionist is more trained on support, this one's more trained on sales. So for instance, if you go to my website, soundharborinsurance.com, and you see the chat bot in the bottom right corner and you click on it, it's going to say, welcome to Sound Harbor. Is this in reference to personal or business insurance quote? Something along those lines. Again, think of the workflow. This is super important, whether you do the receptionist or the chatbot, have a workflow of how you want the call or chatbot to go. So personal or business, if they say personal, it'll ask them for their name, email, phone number, what it's in reference to, and then it gives them the risk advisor quote intake form for whatever specific policy they're asking for. And then on the business side, because business tends to be a lot more complex, we tailored it in a way where it's got my Reclaim AI calendar tool that it will send to schedule a call with me specifically to go over any business insurance they're looking at. And if they say, if they wind up asking you the question in this whole process, how much does auto insurance cost, or what's the average price for a general liability policy for a contractor in New York? It's got all of that built into the knowledge base, and it'll give it some information, which is actually connected to my website via different blogs that I have built on my website. So that's kind of what we're doing from the chatbot side of thing. And I know Stephen probably has a similar story on that because we're working on it together. But yeah, it's cool, exciting stuff. One thing I'll add about the chatbot is that because it's not just your standard chatbot, it is powered by AI. So it will use an LLM to help feed it information and be a little more intuitive than your standard chatbot that's just programmed to say certain things, if that makes sense.
Yeah. What I
So
love about this is two things. You're continually refining the process of meeting the customer where they want to be met. I think about it all the
yeah.
time. One of the carriers that we is one of our top carriers. They have a great chat system with customer support. I use that every single time over getting on the call,
Oh yeah.
pressing three, holding for a minute, listening to the terrible hold music. I can get right on and say, hey, are we, whatever my simple question is on this policy, whatever, what's the question? Boom, 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 done. And then the customizable, the ability to customize it to send it wherever you want to send it. So like I know personal, we have it sent to the risk advisor forms that we're both using. Commercial, you can have them fill out a basic form, schedule a call, have them decide it. They can do this at 11 o'clock at night while we're sleeping and come in the morning and all the information's right there rather than a voicemail. I didn't want to get a hold of them. I went to Next Insurance to fill out a form because I didn't want to worry about it. It wasn't an option on Sound Harbor's site. Like, and we talk about this internally, Shawn, all the time of like, the AI, if you use it properly, there's all this buzz. Oh, it's going to replace our jobs, this and that. It's enhancing the customer experience, and you're continuing to like, where's the pinpoint? Right now, nobody can go on T5's site and have a conversation to start a quote until we get that chatbot live, but they can go on and fill a form out. Well, maybe someone has basic questions, whatever, and we can see that and then it's sent to us and all that. So I love the conversation. I'm glad we're kind of doing this journey together because it's been super fun and learning off each other as we do it.
Yeah.
But
Let me just add one thing to that is that, I know it is majority scratch agents that are listening to this, and I would tell you, I'm hesitant to say it, but I would tell you that you don't have to go out and spend thousands of dollars to an engineer to build out these programs for you. Full disclosure, I built this out what I feel like fairly quickly myself. Now I did have a little extra time the last couple of days, but I was able to get it done on the chatbot side. The receptionist was a little more in depth. I had to have multiple calls with RingCentral. That all being said, if you are on a budget, again, AI receptionist was $30. Zapier chatbot, $20 a month. Neither one of these broke the bank. I didn't have to spend thousands of dollars to a developer. You just have to, my recommendation would be, if you don't have it now, which you should, because we've been talking about it for 100 plus episodes, is document your processes, have your procedures written out, have your workflows written out, have your FAQs written out. All these things are going to help when you build the chatbot or the AI receptionist.
mhm.
So I'll
Biggest
leave it at that.
takeaway for this solo, because I know we're going to wrap up for time. Biggest takeaway: check the tools that you have to see what new features they've come out with. We all get
Yes,
a
sir.
million email marketing messages a day from the tools that we're using, and probably just unread them, or maybe that's just me. And it's like one of those is probably saying, "Hey, RingCentral now has an AI chatbot. RingCentral now has an AI assistant," and it's your 10th email from RingCentral that day. But like, check with these tools before you're going out. And all these tools we talked about are great. We're not saying that there's an agency that doesn't have a need for the specific insurance chatbots, or none of that. These are just our opinions. But when you talk about all scratch agents are on a budget, how can we compete against the big guys? How can we continue to move our agencies forward, meet our clients where they want to be met? This is the way to do it.
For sure. With that 100%.
All right, everybody. There's your solo soapbox from Shawn and Steven for the last 20 minutes. As always, remember that we have the Telegram that's going on. Tons of great conversation in there, up to like 75 people. It's all day long,
Crazy.
just great value. Go to scratchagencypodcast.com, click join the community, free community, join the Telegram, get closer to everybody in there and learn and connect. We've got our meetup coming up in Washington, D.C. We're recording this now at the end of May, so we're getting close on that. We have capped it at a certain amount of people, and it is close to getting capped out there. So Washington, D.C., one-day meetup, very intentional. We're just doing mastermind tables, round tables of different topics. Chris Langio from Advisor Evolve will be there. David Watson from Risk Advisor is going to be there. They're not going to be there to pitch their product. They're going to be there to talk about their specialty. And that was very important when Shawn and I, Mike Cruz, and CR were putting this together. It's just going to be a round table of great information. We got a nice dinner planned for that night. So you can fly in the day before, fly out the day after, get home with your families. July 31st, Washington, D.C. ScratchAgencyMastermind.com is the information for that. As always, that's another episode of the Scratch Agency
I'm gonna say
Podcast.
something real quick, and this might
Oh
be an
boy,
off the cusp thing.
here he goes.
Message me on Instagram, DC. I will pay for one person's ticket.
Oh boy.
Not your
Sorry,
room, not
sorry,
your room, not
listeners.
your flight, not your dinner. just for one of the, well, maybe the dinner's included if you go to the VIP. I'll pay for the VIP. One person.
That's a
DM
nice
me
offer,
DC.
Shawn. Unfortunately, I'm messaging you right now, DC, so it's already taken before this episode gets released. What a great offer. What a great offer. So he's going to pay for 2 because I already messaged him once, so he's going to have to throw in another one. That's awesome, Shawn. That's fantastic. Shawn's been in business for about a year more than me, so I'm not going to pay for anybody, so we'll just see you there. All right, everybody, thanks for joining us. Do us a favor, like the show, share the show, and subscribe. But most importantly, remember to dig down deep, believe in yourself, and own your own future. We'll see you next week. Take care.